Hello? Hello, up here.
Oh, hi, Lisa, remember?
I'm throwing down my key.
What?
My key. The buzzer doesn't work. I'm throwing down my key.
What? I can't.
I'm throwing down my key.
Oh, you want me to let myself in?
Yes, it's just what I want you to do. Back up. I don't want to hit you.
What?
I don't want to hit you. Back up. Jesus. By the tree. The tree. No. Yes. Good. 3F.
What?
Apartment 3F. F. I fucking can't believe it. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, jeez.
Professor?
Yes, come in.
Hello, sorry I'm late.
Well, that's quite all right.
I didn't get your note that we were meeting here and not at your office until like 15 minutes ago, and practically ran all the way.
Well,
Do you want some help with that?
as a matter of fact, I do. See if you have any better luck with this, will you, dear?
Sure.
Damn thing's warped and I'm freezing.
It's stuck.
Yeah, I know, it's stuck. It sticks. Those goddamn old windows.
Have you got like a screwdriver or something?
A screwdriver?
Yeah, you know, so I can like...
There's a particular angle. I found it before. You have to, if you jiggle it just the right way. Oh God, my arthritis. I couldn't find a screwdriver. Try this.
A spatula?
Well, yeah, just see what you can do. Yeah, right there. Excellent, thank you.
Hey, no problem. I do windows. So, hi.
Hi.
So great to finally be here. I mean, I was beginning to think I was never going to find this place.
Oh, really? Why? It's not that difficult.
I know, but you know when you're walking along and all of a sudden West 12th and like West something streets intersect?
Yes.
And it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? You know, sort of like Alice through Looking Glass or something.
Yes.
Anyway, this is such a neat place. It's so nice of you to have me over.
Have you over?
You know what I meant.
I hardly think of this as having you over.
I know, but I
This
mean,
isn't exactly a social call.
I know.
I do this from time to time, meet with my students here, mainly because I'm a terrible slug, and if one of us has to schlep, it may as well be you. You're younger.
I know. What I meant was it's so nice to be in a real home for a change. You know, where a real person actually lives with like real furniture and books and art and stuff. I mean, graduate students, my apartment is so makeshift and sad, completely lacking in dignity. And all the surfaces are always sticky because nobody really cleans up after themselves. What?
You're Lisa?
Yeah.
Lisa Morrison.
Yeah, why?
You wrote Eating Between Meals? You wrote this.
This is my tutorial. Remember we had a tutorial?
Isn't that funny? I thought you were someone else.
What do you mean?
Well, you're not who I thought you were. I confused you with another student.
Oh.
I've got to start paying attention to those goddamn seating charts. My memory is shot to hell. I had decided that Lisa was that serious young woman.
Oh.
You know, that mousy Anita Brookner type one who never makes eye contact?
Janet?
Yeah, that dreary dark girl with the long bangs that looks like she trims them herself by chewing on the ends.
Janet Spiegel, yeah.
Yes, that's Janet. Janet Spiegel. Huh. Now, what did I think she was you?
Are you disappointed?
What?
I mean, are you disappointed that I showed up looking like me and not like Janet?
Oh, well, no, but you don't particularly look like your story. Most often, my students tend to look like their stories.
Isn't that interesting?
I prided myself for years for being able to match the student with the story. I'm so rarely wrong.
So are you saying that I'm not a very serious looking person?
What?
No, I'm just wondering. You said you thought the story was written by a serious looking person, so I just want to know, am I? No, I'm curious. Am I a serious looking person?
No, you're not.
Well, if you thought the story I wrote was written by a serious-looking person, does that mean you thought it was a serious story?
Perhaps. Can I offer you anything?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Tea?
Actually, I'd love a cup of coffee.
Well, actually, I don't have coffee.
Oh, okay.
I don't drink coffee, I have tea.
Okay, tea's fine.
English breakfast?
Do you have any herbal?
No, I have English breakfast.
English breakfast it'll be.
Good, English breakfast it is then.
Thank you. What a lovely edition of Middlemarch. Mine's practically falling apart. I've read it so many times. In dreams begin responsibilities. I love In Dreams Begin Responsibilities. I love the part where he's dreaming he's in the movie theater watching his parents' courtship on screen, and just as he's about to propose, or his father's about to propose to his mother, he shouts out, here it is, don't do it! It's not too late to change your minds, both of you. Nothing good will come of it, only remorse, hatred, scandal, and 2 children whose characters are monstrous. I love that. Is this really a letter from Delmore Schwartz?
I'll put that back, please.
Sorry.
That's all right. Just put it back.
Sorry. Phone! Professor? Hello, Miss Steiner? Do you want me to get it?
No.
Thank you. Is your machine working?
My machine?
Because it's ringing like a lot. Shouldn't it pick up after like 4 or 5 rings?
I have no machine.
You have no machine, really? Wow.
Why? What do I need a machine for?
I don't know. I just figured someone as important as you would. How do you live without an answering machine?
Well, if it's work related, they'll call my agent. If it's my agent, she'll know to call me back later. My friends would know the same.
What if it's an emergency?
I have no children. My parents are both dead. What could possibly be so urgent?
Look, why don't you just answer it and tell me you'll call me back later?
I don't want to answer it. Why should I answer it? I have company.
Oh, really? Who?
You.
Oh, right.
See that? Couldn't have been that important. Help yourself, dear.
That is good. What's it called?
Mondel bread.
Mondel.
Jewish biscotti.
Oh, shit. No, I'm sorry.
Quite all right.
I'm really much more together than this usually.
Are you really?
I'm just like really nervous.
Really? Why is that?
Why? Because I can't believe I'm here, okay? I can't believe I'm in Ruth Steiner's apartment, sitting on Ruth Steiner's sofa, sipping tea with Ruth Steiner.
Oh, come now.
I mean, this is where you wrote The Business of Love, isn't it?
Well, yes, here and on the vineyard, lots of places, on the buses and restaurants, on the Broadway local, but yes.
And it's the Matisse that hangs over Lydia's bed in all the wrong places.
Yes,
I remember the dances. She imagines herself dancing with the dancers at the end.
that's right.
And that's the playground where Joanna's little bully and the silent child falls and gets a concussion, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Eric.
Eric?
The little boy's name, Eric.
I'll take your word for it.
How long have you lived here?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Yes, I do.
A very long time.
Like 10 years?
No, more like 31.
Oh, wow. 31 years. So, every story you practically ever wrote, you wrote here, didn't you? Under this roof in these tiny rooms. These are the books that you read.
Oh, please.
This is the floor that you paced. This is the view that you saw from your window.
Oh, knock it off, darling, really. I think you're going a little overboard here.
Why do you think I'm sucking up to you?
Well, the thought has occurred to me.
I don't mean to. It just, what I'm trying to tell you, Miss Steiner, in my stupid and clumsy way, is that being here, studying with you, it's like a religious experience for me. No, really, it is. Your voice has been inside my head for so long, ever since high school when I had to read The Business of Love. From the opening lines of Jerry, darling. That was it for me. I was hooked. You had me. I knew what I wanted to do. I knew who I wanted to be.
Oh dear, I did all that.
Yes, I read all of your stories, all of them, like 5 or 6 times. I couldn't get enough. I devoured them. I kept wanting more. I even went to the library to look up your uncollected stories.
Oh my, that is devotion.
I just sat there one day and read whatever I could find.
Well, there's a good reason why they remain uncollected.
Oh no, there's wonderful things in all of them, really. The ones in the New Yorker and the ones in Mids from like the early 80s. Oh, and that summer Esquire reading issue, that Coney Island lifeguard one.
Yes.
So if I sound like an idiot or a sycophant or something, it's only because I'm trying to tell you what an honor it is to be breathing in the same airspace as you guys all. But I write much better than I talk, so I should probably just shut up.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you do write better than you talk. Now, where did you do your undergraduate work, please?
New Jersey?
New Jersey. Where in New Jersey?
Princeton?
Yes, I think I've heard of it. Jesus, look at that.
Oh,
Better get going, otherwise
Of course.
I can see myself pissing away my entire afternoon.
I'm sorry.
Just listen first.
What?
Why don't you try just listening?
Oh, okay.
Don't immediately write down everything I say. Listen, digest.
But like, what if you say something that's really important and I forget?
Well, if you forget, it probably wasn't worth remembering in the first place. Not everything I say is going to be clever or wise, you know.
Huh?
You may think I'm full of it, and that's okay too. It's up to you to decide what is useful criticism and what is not. I'm not a doctor, you know. I don't dispense prescriptions. If you do such and such and such and such, your story will be perfect. It doesn't work that way, you know.
If only were that easy, huh?
Yes. Well, I'm not going to tell you how to write because I can't. I don't pretend to know myself. All I can do as an artist who teaches is tell you what I see, read back to you what I see, and ask the right questions.
Do you resent it? I mean, having to teach?
No, I enjoy it.
But don't you hate how it takes you away from your work?
Oh, I don't know. I rather like the distraction. For one thing, it gets me out of the house, which is not a small thing. And it gets me talking about what I do. Hell, it gets me talking, period. Otherwise, I'd be by myself far too much, and I'd remain silent far too much, and I'm alone enough as it is. You develop bad habits when you spend too much time alone.
Is it true you need a new assistant?
Yes.
Can I apply? Or do you already have someone else in mind?
No, I don't have anybody in mind.
Oh, then can I apply?
Well, you can do whatever you'd like. I mean, it's not exactly a glamour job, you know. I can be a totally despotic employer.
I don't care.
You don't, huh? Well, look, we've gotten off track here. We're here to talk about this, eating between meals, okay? I like your title, by the way.
Really? Thanks.
Yes, it's a good title. I kind of wish I'd thought of it.
You don't think it's too on the nose, you know, for a story about bulimia?
No, I like it. I think it has a nice, healthy sense of irony.
Thanks. I kind of like to do.
Do you have a new story in the works?
Yeah, I think so.
Good.
It's about this divorced dad who takes his 12-year-old daughter to Disneyland with his new girlfriend, and they all share a motel room, and then...
Wait. Don't tell me.
What?
Don't tell me about it. Write it. I don't want to hear it.
Oh.
Telling takes away the need to write it. It relieves the pressure. And once that tension dissipates, so does the need to relieve it. First write it, then we'll talk about it. Okay, let's see what we've got here.
The story's kind of autobiographical.
No.
That was a stupid thing to say. I'm sorry, it's obvious, isn't it?
Well, it's not that it's obvious, it's inconsequential. I don't care what the basis of the story is as long as it's a good story. Now, let's look at your opening paragraph,
Uh-huh.
where your protagonist,
Jessica?
yes, where Jessica goes into the supermarket.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who is Jessica?
Who is she?
Yes, I don't really have a sense yet of who she is. Tell me about her.
Okay, well, she was, like the baby of her family. Had two older brothers who she adored, who babied her to the point of domination, but then went away to school and left her alone to deal with her infantile, incompetent parents just as their marriage was turning into an ugly suburban nightmare. Who was pampered and pretty and all that, but felt worthless and undeserving anyway, and would do anything for attention, even if it meant hurting herself. Like that, does that help?
Yes. The automatic door sprang open. I entered into...
Hold on, wait, you're gonna read it?
Yes.
Like out loud?
Yes, why?
I mean, I didn't know you were gonna read it out loud.
Lisa, you're going to have to get used to hearing your own words. We're going to begin reading out loud in class next week.
You mean we're going to be reading our own stuff?
Yes.
Oh God, you're kidding.
Lisa, if you can't bear to hear your own words, how can you expect anybody else to?
I have a terrible voice. I'm a terrible reader.
It's not about performance. It's about responsibility, claiming ownership. That's very, very important. Are you going to survive this tutorial, or are we going to require oxygen?
No, I'm okay.
The automatic door sprang open. I entered into a world of plenty, a cornucopia of temptation, of sustenance and sin, where the music of love was muzak and anything was possible.
What?
Anything was possible. I don't know. There's something terribly weak about that phrase.
Really weak? I'm sorry.
Well, I like the music of love was muzak. I like that. I like the world of plenty, cornucopia of temptation. That's all very nice. Just think about that one phrase. Give it a little more thought.
Can I write this down?
All right, if you must. I took a red plastic basket from a help yourself stack and made my way through the crush of harried women pushing shopping carts loaded with unruly toddlers past precarious towers of brightly packaged foods.
What?
That sentence, I don't know, maybe it's all those bloody adjectives. Look at that, you got a shitload of them there. Harried, unruly, precarious, lose some of them. You don't need all that, less is more for Christ's sake. Food was everywhere. Oh, thank God.
What?
A blessed three-word sentence. The endless walls of cereal boxes in primary colors made me think of Christmas. Good. Clean, clear, specific, evocative. In the condiment aisle, I encountered an overweight little girl, her mouth in pink jogging suit smudged with chocolate, spinning herself around like a sugar-crazed dervish, her mad dance ending only when she dizzily collided with a wall of gherkins. 3 glass jars toppled in rapid succession, exploding onto the linoleum like fabulous green water balloons. The girl looked up, saw me, and grinned delightedly before taking off down the aisle, leaving her mortified mother and the briny mess behind her. Fabulous green water balloons. I love that girl. Where did that little girl come from?
Oh, her, that's me. Actually, it's a true story, only it wasn't pickles, it was ketchup, but I figured ketchup would be cheap,
Yes,
you know.
yes. Do you know what you did here? You don't, do you?
I don't know, I guess I kind of enjoyed the idea of encountering myself as a child. You know, sort of the specter in the supermarket. This fat little girl with chocolate all over her face, spinning wildly and making a mess of everything, but not really caring that she was making a mess of everything and pissing her mother off, but rather enjoying it.
Yeah, that's right. The ice cream was displayed in a long corridor of frosty glass cases, like precious Etruscan vases in a museum. Now, here I have a question for you. Are you familiar with Etruscan vases?
Not overly, no, but I've seen them.
Uh-huh. Well, I would think about that image. What is it about Etruscan vases?
What about Etruscan?
Yes, why not Greek vases or ancient vases or whatever? What is it about Etruscan vases?
I don't know. I like the word.
It is a very nice word, isn't it? But why don't you go to the Met and sit with the Etruscan vases for a while? Get acquainted with them. See if that's what you really mean to say.
You mean it?
Oh, absolutely. We must never be arbitrary. Everything must have a reason.
God, that makes like so much sense.
Lisa?
Did you not want me to write?
Oh, no, that's not it. Do you mind if I ask you something?
Sure, go ahead.
Why do you talk like that?
Excuse me?
You have a tendency to put question marks at the end of your declarative sentences. Do you know that?
Oh, God.
When a simple declarative sentence will do, you inflect it in such a way. Well, when I asked you where you got your bachelor's, you didn't simply say Princeton, a statement of fact. You said, Princeton? Do you hear how my voice went in?
I can't believe I'm still doing that. I used to talk that way when I was
Well,
younger.
I'm not saying that you do it all the time, but you do it often enough for me to notice, and it's very striking because, well, you're obviously a very intelligent young woman, but it's really kind of dopey if you ask me.
It is. It really is. It's awful.
Yeah, well, you're not alone. Most of my students tend to speak like this, and I'm not absolutely certain, but I think more young women speak this way than young men. And there's almost something poignant about it all. All these capable young women begging to be heard, begging to be understood. Do you hear me? Are you listening? Am I being heard?
No.
Yeah, well, you've all cultivated this common dialect of American youth, this non-regional American dialect.
Is it television, do you think? That was a question. I mean, I think it's television.
You kids are complicit in this. Role models are chosen. You're selling yourself short.
By sounding like a bunch of airheads?
Yes, listen to yourself. Nobody is going to take you seriously in the real world. Who's going to take you seriously if you talk like that? No one. Why should they? If I were you, I would do everything in my power to erase it from my memory, expunge it from my speech center. The moment you hear yourself do it, stop and correct yourself. Pretend I'm your mother telling you to stand up straight, tell me to drop dead, but do it. You'll thank me for it one day, believe me. Okay, let's get back to...
So do you think I'm any good?
What?
Never mind.
Do I think you're any good?
I mean,
Well, it's a little early to tell, don't you think?
yeah, I know, but you must have formed some opinion by now. I mean, you've been doing this for a long time, right?
But this is your first tutorial.
I know.
Ask me again 6 months from now.
My parents think this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever done, and I've done plenty in the realm of the ridiculous. I would just hate to give them the satisfaction. I just need to know if I'm wasting my time. That's all.
No, I don't think you're... I wouldn't retire yet if I were you. You have a lot of work to do, an awful lot. But the stuff, I think it's there.
The stuff? You think I have the stuff?
It's very raw, mind you. But yes.
And you're not just saying that?
Why would I say something like that if I didn't mean it?
I don't know, because I'm paying like all this tuition.
Oh no, rest assured, I'm a terrible liar. Okay. My eyes grew wide in the dazzling fluorescence.
So is there like an application I can fill out, or do I just put my name on a list?
Again with the job. I don't know what you think this job is. I wouldn't want this job.
Why not?
Nudging me about this and that, doctor's appointments, conferences.
I can nudge.
Yeah, well, let me assure you, there's a lot better things you can do with your time than babysit an old fart like me. Well, if you really want to apply,
Yes?
apply through the office. Speak with Mrs. Gonzalez.
Mrs. Gonzalez.
She has the application. My eyes grew wide in the dazzling fluorescence. As I reached inside the icy freezer for the macadamia brittle, my heart beat quickly in feverish anticipation, as if I were preparing for a tryst with a lover and not for an after-school binge.